Hi there, it's John Crotts from King Law, attorney and elder law specialist. What if I told you that not necessarily everything you own will pass through your will when you die? In fact, in many cases, the majority of one's assets may pass outside of their will through other means. I want to talk about the difference between probate and non probate assets. Probate, of course, is the process that your family will go through upon your death to administer your estate. And the controlling document or vehicle for that is your last will and testament, or if you didn't have a will, state law. Either state law or your will determine who inherits your probate assets when you die. And probate uh, typically involves anything that is titled in your individual name solely with no designated beneficiary and no joint owner who would inherit by survivorship. So, um, the best way to explain is to give you some examples of non probate assets. Uh, Pretty much anything that has a beneficiary attached to it. We're talking about life insurance. We're talking about retirement accounts such as IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, um, any jointly held accounts with right of survivorship or jointly titled vehicles that are titled with a right of survivorship, um, and you know, any jointly held real estate with a right of survivorship. Those are things that will pass immediately to a beneficiary or to a survivor upon your death and will not be affected by what your will says. So, um, if you're the beneficiary of a loved one's will, don't automatically assume that you're going to get the house or the car or the bank accounts because those assets may transfer through other means. Um, and one of the main benefits to non probate assets is they pass automatically by law. And the, you know, the will has no control over those assets. And the beneficiary of those assets can simply notify the appropriate people who are in charge of those assets. If it's a 401k, you contact the retirement company or the plan administrator, or if it's a brokerage account with a beneficiary, you contact the brokerage company, and they will walk you through how to uh, gain control of those assets. Typically, you're going to fill out some paperwork, show proof of identification, and they're going to send you a check or they're going to retitle the account. A lot more streamlined and a lot easier than all of the different, you know, forms and delays that you're going to experience through the probate estate process. Another type of non-probate asset is assets that are held in a trust, and we've talked in other videos about a revocable living trust and why that could be something that's beneficial for you depending on your situation. There again, that is a way to get assets to your loved ones without them getting tied up in probate. Um, but as you can tell, there's a lot of other ways to do that without even a trust. So beware of that. But many families never actually even go through probate if they've got things set up properly. They've got beneficiaries on a lot of their accounts. They've got maybe their home that is set up in a life estate or ladybird deed so that it automatically transfers to their loved ones. Uh, that provides a few benefits, both the benefit of keeping it out of probate and protecting the home from Medicaid recovery in North Carolina, at least. Um, and non-probate transfers, they're more private. Um, if you have to go through probate, you're going to have to itemize on a public record any assets that are subject to that probate proceeding. So, um, not necessarily the most private way of dividing your estate. If you do it through other means, through a trust or through beneficiary designations, those are typically not going to be subject to public view. Um, and the non-probate methods avoid confusion, delays, and conflict among heirs in most cases compared to some of the things we experience with probate. So Do you want to make sure your assets pass the right way? Do you want to make sure your assets pass the easiest way with the fewest delays, with the least bit of confusion or animosity within your family? If so, you may want to consider setting your assets to pass through non-probate vehicles like beneficiary designations, like a trust. And if you're interested in learning more about that, give us a call at King Law. We can do a comprehensive review of your assets and liabilities, make recommendations with respect to your estate plan or even asset protection planning to try to protect things from the risk associated with long-term care. We'd love to have a conversation with you, so reach out and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.